verbal communication makes up only 7% of what we truly convey. The remaining 93% is transmitted through nonverbal signals. If you've ever wondered whether a woman is truly interested in you, if you've ever wanted to learn how to read the invisible signals she might be sending without even realizing it, you're in the right place. Today, champion, we'll guide you through the 12 body language signals that will help you identify when a woman genuinely feels something for you. From the subtlest gestures to the most evident movements, these signals form the secret code every man must learn to decipher. Sign number 12. Invading your personal space. When a woman invades your personal space, my friend, it's far more than just a physical gesture. It's a clear sign that she's seeking something deeper, an emotional connection. The distance we maintain with others is a subtle yet powerful form of communication. If she steps closer or enters your personal space, she's not just seeking physical proximity, but also exploring the possibility of deepening the relationship on a more intimate and emotional level. Personal space, as you might know, can vary depending on cultural context, but generally speaking, the closest zone, less than 2 feet, is reserved for those with whom we share a close emotional or physical bond. When a woman enters this intimate zone, she's not just looking for physical closeness. She's signaling a desire for an emotional connection. As the renowned psychologist Carl Jung once said, "The closest connection between two people is not physical but emotional." If a woman moves within 4 feet of you, she's sending a clear message. She feels comfortable around you and seeks a more direct interaction. It's a clear indication of interest and a willingness to strengthen that connection. But if she steps even closer, entering your intimate space, it's a strong confirmation that she's considering a deeper relationship. This isn't just about attraction. It reflects a strong emotional connection and her openness to sharing something more personal with you. Gentlemen, if you find yourself in such a situation, don't feel awkward or back away. The key is to embrace that closeness with confidence. If she makes the first move and approaches you, respond in a relaxed and open manner. This will reinforce mutual comfort and attraction. Even something as simple as leaning slightly toward her or offering a genuine smile can strengthen the bond. This kind of interaction can significantly deepen the relationship, transforming simple physical closeness into a meaningful emotional connection. Remember, in these situations, emotional reciprocity is crucial. Champion, if you can recognize the signs and respond with confidence, you can turn these interactions into a stronger and closer relationship. Now, let's shift our attention to her behavior, involving one of the most central features visible to everyone: her lips. Sign number 11. Focusing attention on the lips. When a woman touches her lips or applies lipstick while near you, gentlemen, it's not a trivial gesture. It's a clear signal that she's trying to catch your attention in a flirtatious way. This type of behavior, though subtle, carries considerable power. It reflects her desire to highlight her attractiveness and sensuality in your presence, creating a deeper connection without the need for words. The act of touching her lips or reapplying makeup, particularly lipstick, has strong evolutionary undertones. Lips, with their prominence and color, are associated with sexuality and desire. Subconsciously, women emphasize this area not only to visually attract, but also to create a sense of intimacy, as lips are closely tied to kissing and physical closeness. In this sense, when she focuses on her lips, it's not just about showing interest. It's also about signaling her openness to forming a deeper connection. If you find yourself in a situation where a woman touches her lips while looking at you or reapplies lipstick nearby, you can interpret this as a clear indication of attraction. It's not just about enhancing her beauty. It's an indirect but effective form of flirting. If this gesture is paired with a smile or prolonged eye contact, the signal becomes even stronger. She's seeking your attention and feels comfortable displaying a more sensual side of herself. Now, if you notice this gesture, it's important to respond with a relaxed and confident attitude. Gentlemen, don't hesitate to reciprocate naturally. Maintain an open posture. Offer a simple, genuine smile or sustain eye contact. This reciprocity in your body language will reinforce the connection and send a clear message that you're also interested. creating a mutual sense of attraction. Keep this in mind as we explore another important and often overlooked signal: her hair. Signal number 10, playing with the hair. When a woman plays with her hair in your presence, my friend, it is not a trivial gesture. Instead, it is a subtle yet powerful signal that may be sending multiple messages. It could be an expression of nervousness, but it can also reflect her desire to capture your attention and showcase her attractiveness. It is a nonverbal way of flirting, a way to show interest, while also reflecting how comfortable or connected she feels with you in the interaction. This behavior has deep roots in psychology, my friend. From an evolutionary perspective, long and well-maintained hair has historically been associated with youth and fertility. In this sense, women often play with their hair instinctively to increase their appeal in front of someone they're interested in. Furthermore, this gesture can also be a sign of flirting, especially if it happens after receiving a compliment or when the conversation becomes more intimate. If you notice her doing this while looking directly at you or during key moments of the interaction, you can be sure she's seeking a way to connect with you and maybe even subtly increase her sensuality. If this behavior repeats throughout the conversation, my friend, and is accompanied by smiles or longer glances, it is a clear sign that she's flirting. It's her way of showing you that there is genuine interest and not just an empty gesture. Now, how should you respond to this? The best approach is to remain relaxed and natural. Don't rush it. Just go with the flow of the conversation. And if you feel comfortable, you can return the smile or make a small gesture reflecting your interest, thereby reinforcing the connection. As writer and psychologist Esther Perel says, desire is a subtle dance between closeness and distance, and these small flirting gestures are part of that dance. Remember, gentlemen, these behaviors are signals that require an appropriate response without pressure or rushing. Enjoy the moment, observe, and respond with confidence, as this type of interaction is a perfect opportunity to strengthen an emotional connection and, perhaps, take the relationship to a new level. And as we're getting close to the hair, stay attentive to her neck. Signal number 9, exposing the neck. When a woman exposes her neck in your presence, my friend, it's not just a casual gesture. It's a powerful signal that can indicate great confidence and a willingness to connect on a deeper emotional level. This behavior, whether by tilting her head or moving her hair aside, shows intentional vulnerability. Exposing the neck is one of the clearest ways to demonstrate openness, an act that is usually reserved for those with whom we feel a genuine attraction or with whom we trust a part of our intimacy. From a psychological standpoint, the neck is one of the most vulnerable areas of the human body. My friend, this gesture is not casual, and it's deeply tied to the idea of vulnerability and trust. Evolutionarily, the neck, when exposed, signifies a sense of safety in the presence of someone. But not only that, it's also associated with seduction. It's an erogenous zone, tied to kissing and close contact, which makes this signal a natural invitation for a more intimate connection. In short, when a woman exposes her neck, she is sending a clear message. She feels comfortable with you and is willing to emotionally connect with you, and possibly physically, if the relationship continues developing naturally. Now, my friend, how can you interpret this signal? If you notice her gently tilting her head or moving her hair to expose her neck during the conversation, it's a clear sign of interest. This gesture, especially when accompanied by a relaxed posture and a calm smile, indicates she feels comfortable in your presence and is opening up emotionally. It's not just an act. It's an implicit invitation to connect on a closer and perhaps deeper level. In some cases, if the emotional bond strengthens, it could lead to a greater physical intimacy. When you notice her exposing her neck, the best approach is to remain calm and confident. My friend, don't rush things, as this gesture invites a closer emotional connection, but not necessarily physical right away. It's the perfect time to reaffirm that connection with soft and warm words, which will make her feel even more comfortable and open. If the context allows, a subtle touch or slight closeness can further strengthen the relationship, but always respecting her time and space. The key is to be receptive to her body language and respond respectfully and authentically. As things begin to take on a deeper connection, physical contact becomes incredibly important. Signal number 8, Intentional physical contact. Physical contact is one of the clearest and most effective signals when it comes to attraction. If a woman touches your hand, steals a hug, or even a light brush of your arm, it's no accident, my friend. These gestures are intentional and reflect her willingness to get closer to you, both physically and emotionally. It's not just about a desire for proximity, but about breaking barriers, allowing the connection to flow beyond words. From a psychological perspective, my friend, physical contact has a profound impact on the development of any relationship. It's a vehicle for the release of oxytocin, that famous love hormone, which generates feelings of trust and attachment. When a woman touches you intentionally, she's sending a clear message. She not only enjoys your company, but she's also willing to deepen the relationship, exploring a closer or even intimate connection. This type of gesture is not made randomly. It has a purpose. Champion. If you notice her gently touching your hand, arm, or giving you a hug when it's not necessary, you can be sure it's a sign of genuine interest. These gestures, especially in casual conversations, are more than simple acts of kindness. They are signals that she desires a deeper emotional connection. It's no coincidence that this type of contact happens when it's unexpected, as she seeks to establish a greater sense of closeness. When you notice these touches, my friend, the key is to respond naturally and confidently. If she touches you, your reaction should be calm, without rushing or forcing anything. A simple gesture like returning a gentle touch on her arm or maintaining eye contact, while smiling, might be all you need to strengthen that connection. Also, remember that physical contact should be gradual and respectful. It's not about rushing, but allowing the relationship to evolve naturally and comfortably for both of you. Respecting each other's timing is essential. Now, champion, always pay attention to where she positions herself when you're with her. Signal number 7. Positioning yourself in your line of sight. When a woman deliberately positions herself within your line of sight, whether by moving closer to you or ensuring that she catches your attention, it's not just a coincidence. This behavior, my friend, is a clear signal that she is interested in interacting with you. It's not accidental. It's an intentional gesture to facilitate the interaction and, in many cases, open the door to a deeper conversation. It's as if she's subtly telling you that she's ready to get closer and establish a connection. My friend, when a woman strategically places herself in your visual field, she's using physical space to generate emotional proximity. This gesture is an invitation for you to approach and begin interacting, and it's a clear indication that she's seeking your attention and showing interest. In other words, it's a way of drawing your gaze and creating an environment conducive to communication. If you notice that she positions herself close to you in a public place or changes her location to be within your field of vision, it's an unmistakable sign that she wants to initiate an interaction. Champion. This behavior can be the first step toward a conversation, or even a subtle way of inviting you to get closer and begin getting to know each other. Don't ignore it. It's an opportunity to open the door to a smoother and more natural conversation. If you respond positively to her gesture, by showing a smile or making a small gesture inviting her to talk, you'll see how that signal becomes a bridge for easier connection. And speaking of subtle cues, pay attention to her nose. Signal number 6. Flared nostrils, friend. When a woman flares her nostrils, although it might seem like a subtle gesture, she is revealing more than you might imagine. This small movement reflects comfort and relaxation, 2 key signs that she feels at ease in your presence. The widening of the nostrils is not something that happens consciously, but rather a physiological response, a sign that on a subconscious level, she is enjoying the moment and the interaction with you. Sir, it's a way of showing that, without words, she is emotionally connecting and feels relaxed, an automatic response to attraction or emotional closeness. From a psychological standpoint, this gesture is more than just a change in breathing. Nostrils expand when a person feels good, when they are enjoying what's happening around them. This tiny detail, almost imperceptible, can be saying much more than words. As psychologist Albert Mehrabian wisely stated, the majority of human communication is not in words, but in what is unsaid. Friend, in this case, what's not being said is reflected in that small but telling physical change. If the nostrils flare, it's likely she's paying more attention to the situation or even feeling attracted. The deeper breathing, often accompanying this gesture, reinforces the idea that she is emotionally engaged and enjoying the interaction. If you notice this change, it's important not to ignore it, friend. Although it may be hard to detect at first glance, if it's accompanied by other signs of relaxation, like smiles or a relaxed posture, you can be sure she's enjoying your company. Instead of rushing to respond immediately, the best thing to do is to respond calmly and confidently, which will reinforce the trust and comfort between you both. This type of signal not only indicates her well-being, but also invites you to continue creating a relaxed atmosphere where emotional connection can grow. Now, pay attention as we move closer to her nose, and don't neglect to read her signals from her eyes. Signal number 5, deliberate eye contact. Friend, eye contact is one of the most powerful forms of nonverbal communication, and when a woman holds her gaze deliberately and consistently, she is sending a very clear message. She is interested in you. This isn't just a casual glance. It's one that seeks to establish a genuine connection. The simple act of locking eyes with you, especially when she does it while talking or even when you're not speaking, can reveal much more than you might imagine. Sir, when a woman maintains eye contact in a sustained way, she is showing you that she sees you as someone important, someone worthy of her attention, and she's eager to strengthen that bond through visual connection. From a psychological point of view, eye contact isn't just about attention. It's also about affection. On an evolutionary level, looking into someone's eyes creates an emotional bond and generates a sense of closeness. In fact, in the context of attraction, this act becomes an extremely powerful tool for conveying desire without words. When a woman holds your gaze and, in addition, accompanies this gesture with a soft smile or a relaxed posture, she is giving a clear sign that she's not just interested in you, but also open to getting to know you more, to creating a deeper relationship. As the French philosopher Michel de Montaigne said, desire is the most powerful thing in love. It is what moves us to approach another human being. Champion, that prolonged gaze is undoubtedly a clear reflection of that desire to get closer. Now, if you find yourself in a conversation and notice that she is holding eye contact, don't let the opportunity pass by unnoticed. It's crucial that you respond in the same way. Maintain eye contact naturally and comfortably without forcing it. This gesture creates a very powerful emotional connection, establishing an atmosphere of empathy and mutual understanding. However, friend, you must be careful. It's not about staring excessively, as this can become uncomfortable. The trick is balanced reciprocity, not crossing the line of what feels natural. By doing so, you'll be cultivating a space where trust and mutual attraction flourish, and the conversation becomes more fluid and meaningful. Signal number 4, unintentional laughter or smile. Friend, unintentional laughter or smiling is undoubtedly one of the clearest signals that a woman is genuinely interested in you. When a woman smiles spontaneously or laughs without thinking, she is conveying something very powerful. She feels comfortable and emotionally connected with you. These effortless smiles, especially when genuine, reflect a natural response of enjoyment toward your presence and the interaction. Sir, these reactions not only indicate that she is having a good time, but they are also a direct reflection of genuine attraction or interest. From a psychological perspective, both smiling and laughing are deeply rooted emotional responses in our nature. They are a way of expressing pleasure or fun, which is closely linked to emotional connection with another person. In fact, from an evolutionary standpoint, humans have developed these responses as signals of security and affection. Smiling or laughing genuinely is an act that strengthens social bonds and is particularly relevant when there is attraction. As philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, laughter is the sun that drives winter from the human face. Champion, when a woman smiles spontaneously in your presence, she is lighting up her face and showing that she is enjoying the connection between the two of you. Now, correctly interpreting this signal is essential. If you notice a woman smiling or laughing involuntarily at your comments or in everyday situations effortlessly, you have a clear indicator that she feels comfortable with you. It's more than just courtesy. It's a genuine emotional response to the interaction. However, It's important that the smile or laugh is natural. If you notice that it seems forced or inauthentic, it might not be related to real attraction. Friend, the trick is in recognizing the difference. If the laughter arises spontaneously, it's a positive sign. As for how to handle this signal, the most important thing is to be authentic. Don't force her to laugh at all costs. The key to getting a woman to smile genuinely is creating an environment where she feels relaxed and comfortable. You don't need to be a comedian all the time, but you can create a space where she feels at ease to enjoy the conversation. When you see her laugh or smile genuinely, respond with confidence, keeping the conversation light and flowing, as that smile indicates that the interaction is going well. Additionally, use those moments to strengthen the emotional bond. If she smiles, you can make a positive comment or gesture that reinforces that connection without pressuring. Sir, remember, authenticity is key to making the smiles flow naturally and continue to strengthen the relationship between you. Now, shifting our attention from her face, let's turn our gaze toward her feet. Signal number 3, direction of the feet. Friend, the feet can be one of the most revealing parts when it comes to understanding a person's intentions. Often overlooked in body language analysis, the feet have a great ability to tell us much more than we think. If a woman directs her feet toward you during a conversation, it's a clear sign that she is engaged and finds you interesting. This gesture, although subtle, carries a great emotional weight, as it reflects her attention and willingness toward you. From a psychological perspective, foot movement is more instinctive and, in many cases, less controllable than other body signals. This happens because we are not as conscious of the direction of our feet as we are of our face or hands. Feet, therefore, tend to orient themselves toward the person or object we are most interested in. This is a natural, though unconscious, behavior that reveals much more about a person's interest than other more obvious signals. As the renowned psychologist Paul Ekman said, "The face can lie, but the body does not deceive." If a woman's feet are pointing toward you, even if her gaze is directed elsewhere, she is sending a clear message. She sees you as someone she would like to continue interacting with. Sir, if you notice that during a conversation, the woman's feet are directed toward you, you can be sure that she is enjoying the interaction. This is a positive sign that she feels comfortable and engaged in the conversation. Of course, if her feet are aligned with her body or even slightly directed toward you, you can be at ease knowing that the closeness feels pleasant to her. On the other hand, if her feet point toward the exit or elsewhere, this could indicate that she is less interested or even uncomfortable. However, don't be misled by this single clue. If there are other signs of interest, such as smiles or proximity, it's important to consider the bigger picture before jumping to conclusions. When it comes to acting, friend, the direction of her feet can provide an excellent guide. If her feet are clearly oriented toward you, don't hesitate to respond to that signal with more interaction, maintaining eye contact and showing equal interest in the conversation. This will strengthen the perception that you feel comfortable and at ease in her presence. Conversely, if you notice her feet turning toward another direction, you might try softening the tone of the conversation or giving her a bit more space. However, if you notice other signs of interest, such as genuine smiles or physical closeness, don't let a single signal confuse you. In body language, it's always important to look at the whole set of signals. Now, champion, let's return to her gaze. Signal number 2, pupil dilation and side glances. Champ, dilated pupils and quick side glances are powerful signals that you cannot overlook. Often, when someone is genuinely attracted or emotionally engaged, their body tends to give small clues that reveal their feelings. And this is one of the clearest. Pupils naturally tend to expand when we feel excited or attracted to something or someone. And if you notice this happening while interacting, you can be sure that the woman is enjoying the conversation and, in many cases, your company. Pupil dilation is an involuntary physiological response that reflects a person's emotional state. When we experience attraction, the sympathetic nervous system is activated, which causes the pupils to expand. This phenomenon, with an evolutionary basis, is not only a sign of attraction but also has an additional effect. It makes the person appear more attractive. Quick side glances, often accompanied by pupil dilation, are a subtle but clear way to show interest. Though discreet, this glance indicates a desire to get closer or learn more without being fully obvious. As philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche aptly said, "The gaze is the most sincere language of the eyes," highlighting the importance of what eyes can reveal, sometimes more than words. Friend, if you notice her pupils dilating, especially during your interaction, you can interpret this as a clear sign of attraction. But it's not just about the pupils. If you also notice her eyes following you or frequently fixing on you, that's another sign that she is enjoying the conversation. There's no need to rush the situation, but if you feel that she is constantly seeking your eye contact, it's a positive signal that she is interested in you. In this case, you can respond with a calm, confident gaze, maintaining a relaxed attitude. This will help strengthen the emotional connection and make her feel even more comfortable, as these visual interactions reinforce the bond between two people. Remember, sir, the eyes say a lot, and in this case, dilated pupils and side glances are clear indications that interest is present. Take advantage of these signals to connect on a deeper level, without rushing, allowing the relationship to flow naturally. Signal number 1, mirroring effect. Friend, the mirroring effect is one of the most powerful signals indicating genuine attraction. It's fascinating how, almost instinctively, people begin to imitate the actions, gestures, or posture of someone they feel an emotional connection with. If you notice that she starts reflecting your movements without you realizing it, like crossing her legs or adjusting her posture right after you do, you can be sure that there's more than just a simple interaction between the two of you. This behavior reveals a level of affinity and comfort that goes beyond casual conversation. Sir, when a woman mirrors your gestures so subtly, she's showing that she feels comfortable with you and, most importantly, emotionally connected. The phenomenon behind this reflection is rooted in empathy. Science has shown that when we like someone or feel an emotional bond, our bodies tend to synchronize with theirs. It's as if our bodies are speaking in a nonverbal language, no words needed. This doesn't just happen in romantic relationships, but also in bonds of trust. For example, if while talking to her, you notice she adjusts her posture at the same time as you or starts touching her hair just after you do, you know she's deeply engaged in the interaction. As philosopher Carl Jung noted, what is not expressed in words is reflected in the body. This kind of unconscious synchronization is a clear sign that the attraction is genuine. Champion, if you notice this kind of behavior, don't rush or try to force it. The key is for the mirroring to happen naturally, without pressure. If you see that her movements begin to align with yours, rest assured that this is one of the greatest signs that she feels attracted to you, and best of all, that there's an emotional connection in progress. Keep the interaction flowing smoothly, don't force any gestures, and let the relationship develop organically. Now, let's talk about a signal related to her arms that often gives her away when she's feeling uncomfortable. Consider this a bonus for sticking with us until the end. Signal of disinterest: crossed arms. Sir, sometimes nonverbal signals speak louder than words. One of the most revealing gestures of disinterest or discomfort is crossed arms. This movement, especially in the middle of a conversation, is like a physical barrier that the person places between themselves and the rest, indicating that they don't feel entirely comfortable or willing to open up emotionally. It's something that can happen almost automatically without the person realizing, but it's connected to a subconscious attempt to protect themselves or distance themselves from the situation. In those moments, when you notice the arms crossed, it's crucial to pay attention to what's happening, as it's telling you that the interaction is not flowing in the way you expected. This gesture reflects a defensive posture. Crossing the arms may be a response to insecurity, disapproval, or, in many cases, the need to emotionally shield oneself. It's fascinating how, even without words, the body sends clear signals about how a person feels in a particular moment. Research has shown that when someone crosses their arms, especially when in a close conversation, they are unconsciously manifesting that they don't feel comfortable or need to put distance between themselves and the situation. As psychologist Paul Ekman wisely said, emotions can't be completely hidden. They filter through our facial expressions and body language. This observation highlights how essential it is to pick up on those small gestures, glances, or postures that, though often unconscious, communicate much more than words. Friend, if you find yourself with a woman who crosses her arms, don't rush or pressure her. Give her space and don't try to get any closer. This posture might indicate discomfort or a lack of emotional connection. But the key is not to force the situation. Changing the dynamic of the conversation or trying to relax the atmosphere could be a good way to see if that barrier disappears. For example, if you notice her arms are still crossed, try switching the topic to something lighter, or perhaps make her feel more comfortable with a soft comment that invites her to relax. Sometimes, with a small adjustment, you can help her open up more and eliminate that barrier. But remember, champion, always respecting her space and comfort zone. In summary, friend, body language is a detailed map of what a person really feels, beyond what they say with words. The signals we've discussed, like the invasion of your personal space, attention to your lips, or playing with her hair, are just some of the many ways someone can show their interest without saying a word. If you notice her exposing herself vulnerably, like showing her neck or seeking intentional physical contact, it's clear she's looking for a deeper connection. Additionally, small gestures like positioning herself in your line of sight or moving her feet towards you are signs that she's paying attention. Don't underestimate the power of eye contact, champion. If her pupils dilate or she gives you quick glances, she's showing genuine interest, even if she doesn't express it explicitly. Reflective gestures, like the mirror effect, are even more revealing because they show a stronger emotional connection. However, if you notice crossed arms, it could mean she feels uncomfortable or distant, signaling that you may need to give her space or change the focus of the interaction. Being attentive to these signs, champion, will allow you to better understand the emotional dynamics at play without the need for words. By learning to read these gestures, you'll be able to navigate interactions with more confidence, knowing when to advance and when to take a step back. The clues are there. You just have to be observant and willing to listen to what the other person's body is telling you. If you have any specific questions or a topic you'd like me to explore in the next video, feel free to leave a comment. For example, you might ask, Christopher, how do I invite a divorced woman on a date? Or what strategies can I use to meet new people? The comment with the most likes will be the one I address in a future video. So make sure to write the one you're most interested in